I've been waiting for you.
Sorry to have held you up.
Try and keep up from here out. Our targets are escalated. A covert approach is likely impossible. We move in, secure the synths, and I relay out with them back to the Institute. Clear? The mission's parameters just changed. We go...
Let's do
Hey!
it.
I've been looking for you.
No, I've got money. It's yours if you let me go.
F633, initiate reset. All right, Synth.
Please.
Z322, initiate reset. Afraid.
I don't want to go back. Please, don't make me go back.
Why are you so afraid?
I don't want to go...
B257, initiate reset. No sudden moves.
Please, no.
What's so bad about the Institute?
I couldn't take it anymore.
Y915, initiate reset. Authorization code Beta 7...
That's all of them. Objective complete. Return to the town. Make sure all hostiles have been eliminated. I will relay the synths back to the Institute. Report to Father upon your return, and... good work.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Don't worry.
This is Radio Freedom, voice of the Minutemen. It's just past 10 p.m. All quiet, which is how we like it. Stay safe out there.
What are you building?
Very clever.
Another day in the Commonwealth. Hope this rain lets up soon.
Hi. My friends say outsiders smell, but you don't smell at all.
You'll get used to Diamond City security being unhelpful. Just ignore them like I do.
Need the trade! We're always open!
Everyone in this city's always jumping at shadows. Chill out is what I say.
If you're thinking safety, a long-range rifle lets you stay in cover and out of sight.
I've got a few minutes to browse.
Feel free to test it. We got small arms, long arms, ammunition!
Shop in safety. No synths allowed at the surplus.
Need some custom hardware? We got a free workbench for all your modifications. Scopes, clip sizes, barrels.
Synth-free shopping, right here.
Don't walk outside the wall undefended. High-quality protection for sale.
We buy and sell everything to everyone, except synths. No synths allowed here. The hub of trade for all Diamond City right here.
Howdy.
You must be terminated. The Institute. You must be destroyed.
Spineless human! Ah, waste my time! What? Who's there? Huh? What's that?
Fascinating.
We are unstoppable!
Calculating
This is no game, human!
Hey. Sean.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It wasn't always like this. It used to be different.
I can only imagine. Standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I was spared a life in this wasteland. I know that to you, I was kidnapped from that vault. In truth, the Institute rescued me. Both of us, really.
But why refreeze me?
As a failsafe, of course. I was the perfect candidate. An infant with uncorrupted DNA. But if something were to go wrong, if I died, well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. Another source of pre-war DNA, preferably related to their primary subject. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. So you were kept alive and safe within the vault. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, I had no expectations that you'd survive out here in all this. To not only do so, but manage to find me. To infiltrate the Institute itself. Extraordinary.
Your unconditional love is overwhelming. I think I need a moment.
I can accept that you're offended. You must understand, though. I have had no love to feel. We have been strangers until now, you and I. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. Well, I suppose I wanted to see what would happen. An experiment of sorts. I had no idea what kind of man you were, you see. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? As it has everything else? Would you even survive? Perhaps most curious to me, would you, after all this time, attempt to find me? And now I know the answer.
This is science to you? It's pathetic, all of it.
I'm sorry you see it that way. Perhaps in time you'll see it differently. There are greater things to come after your success at Bunker Hill. The synths have been safely returned and will be repurposed. Thank you for your work. I hope you weren't at too much risk.
What do you mean, the synths will be repurposed?
Modifications will be made to correct the defects in their programming, and they'll be assigned to new duties within the Institute. Not the first or last time it will happen. The Railroad remains an annoyance, of course, but they'll be dealt with as necessary. And you, well, you've passed the test, as they say. You have done well. Please, for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute, I'd like you to join me inside. The Directorate is meeting, and you should be there. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
hazardous chemical spill, please alert the facilities division
Son.
immediately.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further. It's... well, it's important. Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is he doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ao has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I don't think so.
It's all right. I wouldn't expect you to have. The project has been classified from the beginning. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. It risks personnel and equipment, but no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Nuclear power? That's a disaster waiting to happen.
Not in our hands. I assure you this is the answer. This is the future. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir.
Yes, Dr. Ao. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I'm not overly fond of putting my own father in harm's way, he has proven more than capable of handling himself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time. Please, as I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. Every experimental treatment we could devise has been unsuccessful. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What?
Can't be serious.
Everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
There must be something we can do to help you.
The only thing that matters now is continuing the Institute's work. It will be all right. I assure you, we can talk more later. Right now, the future of the Institute is at stake. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. The Directorate must continue to govern with the best interest of all in mind. To that end, I am naming my father as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? He isn't one of us. He isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my father has already proven himself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting. Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once.
I'm sorry, Father. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
What would it mean to be in charge?
Most divisions of the Institute are fairly autonomous, perfectly capable of functioning without intervention. Where those divisions interact, however, problems can arise. You'd lead...
There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute...
That's why I'd like you to take charge of this latest operation. There are hard decisions ahead, for all of us.
It's my responsibility to make sure this place runs smoothly. Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier. You're going to lead this operation, I'm told.
I need some details here. I have no...
Of course. That's why we're talking. Otherwise, you'd be... Recent events have upset our timetable. Getting the reactor online has become our... We're going to have to cut some corners. I'm not thrilled, but it means we'll need to rely on... You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium...
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hands.
Is that really necessary? I'm sure.
Yes, it really is. Not only is this tech sensitive, it's all.
Sounds good. I'd appreciate it.
Not as much as I'd appreciate coming back in one piece. I don't like going above ground, but here we are, with our option. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this.
Sure.
We don't want them getting the agitator. Head on up to the relay, and I'll meet you there. The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too. The Institute's a big place. It might take a while to learn where everything is.
It's great to have you here.
Dr. Holdren.
I'm glad you're here. I'd like to conduct I believe we can improve the growth rates of our crops by using mutated... To test this theory, I'll need a tissue sample. I expect I'll eventually need several such samples.
You need a tissue sample from a strong super mutant.
That's right. Now remember, only a particularly hardy... I don't need it right away. But if you do come across such a...